We suffer from the secrets, the big secrets. Everything is a secret.
Certain questions I don't think I'll find answers to. And maybe I'm not meant to.
Who is this?
That's you. It's you. That's the picture that you have when you...
For as long as 85-year-old D.C. resident Connie Hipkins can remember, she feared that she had been forgotten.
That's me?
After being torn away from her mother as a young child.
That's the part I don't know why he took me from my mother.
Retired teacher Connie Hipkins always wondered about the holes in her past.
The story I heard was that my father had taken me from the crib, from my mother's house, in the middle of the night.
She says her father literally dropped her off at one of his friends' homes in Harlem when she was just a little girl. It's where she would live out most of her childhood while he led a life of political intrigue. During this time period, her father, Manning Johnson, went from being deeply involved in communism to renouncing the party and becoming an expert witness for the U.S. government. According to public records and historians we've spoken with, Johnson testified more than a dozen times against suspected communists during the height of the Cold War in the 1950s. He even appeared before the House Committee on Un-American Activities.
I wanted him to tell me about my mother, finally, as a wedding present. Nothing else, just sit down and talk with me about her. And he said he would, and that he was going to California.
Johnson never got the chance to tell the truth. He died in California in a car crash. He was only 50.
Oh, it was devastating. I felt my world had just fallen apart.
Hipkins tried to find her mom, Grace Goodman, but failed because her last name on the birth certificate was misspelled as Goodwin.
Found addresses, phone numbers, went into Facebook.
April Garner, a family friend and amateur genealogist, recently volunteered to help Hipkins fill in the holes of her past.
Connie, we have made contact with some members of your mother's family. We've talked to your niece, and Connie, they have never forgotten you.
Never.
They don't know you, but they have always known of your existence, and they have never, ever forgotten your name.
That's why we told you 3 o'clock.
That made all this worthwhile, right there.
Hipkins' stepson Ken and April recently surprised Connie with pictures from her mom's side of the family, pictures she had never seen before, including one of herself.
Oh, that's your mother.
Really?
There would be so much more to see and hear. Connie found out that her mother had died in 1997 and that she had an older sister.
She's still alive?
She's 93, yes. She's ill. Her name is Evelyn.
The family, knowing Evelyn was fighting a reoccurrence of cancer, quickly traveled to New York City to visit her in the hospital.
What happened? It's been all these years.
Well, I'm the oldest sister. You're supposed to be looking for me.
The sisters spent a glorious couple of hours catching up.
I mean, my sister, 80-some years, didn't know she was alive, didn't know her name. You know, just wonderful.
Connie had so many questions, but wanted to take her time rebuilding the past with her sister.
This is too much. It's very heavy.
It's a lot. It is a lot, yes.
But you know, for 93 years, that child was running around, in and around New York, and I didn't know that she was here. It meant something.
Evelyn Brewer's parting words on that day were, "Take care and keep the faith." Brewer died a few weeks later, just the day before this interview.
It was just very hard. Just very hard. And I kept thinking, well, we just met. And she's gone.
Sitting beside her anguish, the gratitude of getting that one day with her sister.
It means so much, so much.
To know that you belong and that you are loved. I'm Jay Korff for ABC 7 News. It's been said that there's no greater heroism than motherhood.
She is thebomb.com.
They keep us on time,
Come get your bag.
in line,
Look, be quiet. Look, man, look. I'm not discussing that right now.
and above all, well-fed.
I need to get some more vegetables.
But Tawana Baylor didn't bring any of these children into the world.
I think she's my second mother, actually.
Miss Tawana, as she's called, works as a violence interrupter in her Southwest D.C. neighborhood. Many years ago, she traveled down desperation's darkest roads, somehow survived,
Struggling is not the word.
and now keeps the peace here while inspiring hope in children like 8-year-old Lucky Mac.
My name is Lucky. I think of her as a mother because she gives us food and she makes sure we're fed.
That's why they love me. I don't judge them. I meet people right where they are. I accept them.
I love that she takes care of everybody.
It's her unpaid job that keeps her in constant motion.
They all get 2 bananas in there to go with their oatmeal for in the morning.
She manages a makeshift toy outlet, library, and grocery store, all out of her small apartment.
They love that macaroni and cheese.
She succeeds by pinching pennies and getting support from family, friends, and various nonprofit agencies. Everything here goes to neighbors in need.
She helps because she knows that I'm struggling.
Like Natasha Mack and her 5 children.
I just thank the Lord for her, and I'm blessed.
I not feed their stomach, I feed their souls. I'm planting seeds.
Moving van.
We caught up with 9-year-old Cameron while he enjoyed lunch and a new book.
What she means to me is she makes me happy.
Happy because nearly 60% of children residing in this complex live in poverty.
Without her, these kids wouldn't have nothing. They wouldn't have nothing.
Miss Tawana and her daughter Sierra ramped up operations when concerns about food insecurity turned critical in the COVID age.
When the pandemic happened, we had a lot of individuals that knew what my mom was doing, knew how much she was feeding the community, and said, hey, we want to help. And so the help began to pour in.
Volunteers drop off food. Others prep and cook, resulting in hundreds of free meals a week.
Here, you got beef pepperoni, your fruit cup. This I get some juice. Hold your bag. I get some juice.
For grateful kids like 8-year-old Michaelan.
I would think as her as my sunshine and my rainbow at the same time. Every day I go knock on Miss Tawana's door because I know she has a whole house full of snacks.
If I know they're hungry, how am I gonna stay behind my door and I open it? I have to open my door.
While the youngest prefer the hallway,
Everybody go get there, calm down.
older ones, on bikes given to them by Miss Tawana, wait outside for their bagged meals.
Thank you, Miss Tawana.
A friend calls Miss Tawana an umbrella in the rain because she covers those in need.
Bye, Grandma. Tomorrow, good tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow. Y'all be good. I love y'all. I put magic in these bags. The love come off of me into the bags. That's what it is. The love and the time.
She can say, look, I am you and you are me. And if you need something right now, if you're hungry right now, you never have to feel bad about it.
Today, we got to feed more people.
Tawana Baylor's drive to give, lead, and love stems from a harrowing past.
Oh, yes, indeed, Jesus. I've been molested by my father and my grandfather. I kept it to myself for 20 years. That's a long time. I didn't share it until I went to jail.
The trauma of betrayal at the age of 12 led to addiction and crimes that landed Tawana Baylor in and out of prison for some 20 years.
I didn't want nobody to go through what Miss Tawana went through. It was terrible, but I came out of it.
She emerged sober, faithful, and confident in her new calling as this community's matriarch.
The food is a bonus. Some of the kids just want my time, and I ride the bikes with them. You know, I jump rope, I do a lot of stuff with them. They want somebody to know that they loved.
So she has dedicated her life to being there for children like Lucky Mac, so they can face the challenges of life, knowing that they have value.
If you're gonna love them for real, not for play. And they know Mr. Warren don't play.
I got a juice, a bar, ravioli, and small slice. Thank you.
I'm Jay Korff.
It makes me feel warm and good.
For ABC 7 News. Every mantle holds a story worth telling. This narrative begins with the horrors of bondage and ends with enduring admiration.
This was Aunt Mabel when she was in her 30s.
English teacher Missy Alexander cares for her 97-year-old great-aunt Mabel Hairston at her home in Prince William County.
That's me and Joseph.
Hairston, a nanny for decades, helped raise Alexander and Alexander's mother.
Aunt Mabel is everything. She's the wind beneath my wings.
Her secret to longevity:
How are you, dear?
catching up with family, eating plenty of veggies, and hanging out with Rerun, the family dog. It also helps that Miss Mabel believes deeply in something.
I wanted the privilege to vote because I knew the importance of it.
Hairston grew up in the Jim Crow era in Martinsville, Virginia. She couldn't vote until she turned 21, and registering, by design, was difficult.
During that time, they would have these poll watchers, and they would do any and everything they could to keep people from voting, black people from voting.
Oh, yeah, the poll tax, $1.50.
She had to pay up and was tested on the Virginia Constitution. But Hairston was prepared thanks to local principal Emmett Taliaferro, who tutored Mabel and countless others so they could pass voter suppression tests.
Well, we knew it wasn't fair and wasn't right, but you had to go along with the program. You know you didn't like it.
And so began Hairston's extraordinary streak at the ballot box.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
It started with FDR and hasn't stopped.
You have an application? Insert your ballot over the green arrows and watch for the American flag.
In September, she voted early at this Manassas precinct. In fact, to the best of her recollection, she has cast a ballot in 20 consecutive presidential elections, always for Democrats, from Kennedy to Carter to Clinton. And the election of Barack Obama, the crowning moment of her electoral life.
It's hard to explain. It was so exciting, unbelievable. You never dreamed I never thought we'd ever get to that point.
Hairston so believed in the sanctity of a fair election process that she served for years as a poll worker.
It teaches me that there is absolutely nothing in the world that I can't do.
She remains politically engaged due to what she witnesses every day on today's streets, where black and brown lives are disproportionately impacted by the pandemic and by institutional racism.
It's really out of hand, and it's not getting any better.
And so we turn one final time to that mantle, because it includes the two reasons why Mabel Hairston never stops believing.
She votes because they were never able to.
They are Hairston's mother, Philadelphia, and her grandmother, Amanda, a slave until freed at the age of 12.
She was gathering eggs when the messenger came to tell everyone at Beaver Creek Plantation that Lee had surrendered and that she was free.
Mabel Hairston says the bottom line is that voting is the best way to get things done, which means she's accomplished quite a lot in her nearly 98 years. I'm Jay Korff.
I just thought I'd holler at you.
For ABC 7 News.